Hello guys, so today we're gonna have a bunch of examples and learning how to do multi-digit multiplication. So if you saw a problem like this, what are you gonna do? Put in staggered error or anything like that? You're correct. So the most digit number at top and then the least digit number at the bottom. So when you set up a addition sign, you gotta add. So like 3 plus 3 is 6, 4 plus 1 is 5, 1 plus 0 is 1. All that simple math. But this number over here is gonna be larger than that. Probably 10 times larger or 100 times larger. We will see, okay? So 143 times 13, okay? First, you gotta look at the ones place in the bottom number. You gotta look at this 3 over here, not that 3. But that 3 needs to multiply to 1 for 3. And then that 1 over there, or that 10 over there, we need to multiply 1 for 3, okay? Also, but you just need to ignore other bottom one. So let's go do 3 times 3 is 9. Okay, then 3 times 4 is 12. We gotta carry the 1, okay? And then 3 times 1 is 3. 3 plus 1 is 4. Now we're gonna cancel this. Okay, we're gonna cancel this. And you gotta ignore this number. If it's this number, you gotta ignore this number. If it's this number, you gotta, for example, like a 2, you need to ignore that number and those numbers. But this one is actually a 10. How many zeros are in the number 10? 1 0, right? So that means you need to put 1 0 over here. Okay, you gotta be careful right here. But now let's go get back to multiplying. What is 1 times 3? 1 times 3 is 3. 1 times 4 is 4. And then 1 times 1 is 1. So 9 plus 0 is 9. 2 plus 3 is 5. 4 plus 4 is 8. And then 0 or nothing plus 1 is 1. And then you can add the comma if you want. Okay? So we're going to compare that to 143 plus 13, okay? I forgot what the value is, so I'm just gonna do it again. So 156. If we multiply it by 10, it's gonna equal to 1,560. So that is more than 10 times big. Then this number over here, 1,859, is larger than the 10 times of 156, which is 1,560. Yep, that's how multiplication really is. Well, let's go do a problem, okay? And I must set up those 3 problems, okay? So let's go do 200. 3,134 times 369. You gotta do these, okay? And then 32,007, no, 3,272 times 137. Gotta do these problems, okay? Now, 1,111 times 372. Okay? I'm gonna wait for like 10 seconds, okay? Or you can just pause the video and then what you get. Okay, so well, let's go do these. 9 times 4 is 36. 9 times 3 is 27. 27 plus 3 is 30. Now, 9 times 1 is 9. 9 plus 3 is 12. Now, 9 times 2 is 18. 18 plus 1 is 19. Okay? But you gotta cross off these numbers. Now, what is 6 times 4? Well, you gotta put the 0 over here because this 6 is not a 6, it's actually a 60. 6 times 4 is 24. Now 6 times 3 is 18. 18 plus 2 is 20. Now 6 times 1 is 6. 6 plus 2 is 8. Now, what is 6 times 2? 6 times 2 is 12. Okay. We don't need to. So if you forgot, there was like a. So if you forgot, like there was like one more. There was one more. If you're gonna add those products, it's gonna equal to 2,134 times 69. So that's where you gotta be careful there. That's what the mistake looks like. So, well, let's go do the number 3, okay? Which is not number 3 in this 3 because that 3 has 2 zeros. So we're gonna put 2 zeros over here. Okay? Now, 3 times 4 is 12. Now, 3 times 3 is 9, plus 1 is 10. 3 times 1 is 3. 3 plus 1 is 4. Hold on. That's supposed to be a 4. That's supposed to be a 4. Hold on. That looks like a little messy for like a little bit. Okay. I'm just gonna process. So I know what I'm gonna do is to like do these, okay? 3 times 4 is 12. Okay? And then 3 times 3 is 9 plus 1, which is 10. 3 times 1 is 3 plus 1, which is 4. And then 3 times 2 is 6. Okay, then we're going to add 6 plus 0 is 6. 0 plus 4 is 4. 2 plus 2 is 4, 9 plus 8 is 17. Now, 2 plus 2 is 4. 4 plus 4 is 8. 1 plus 6 is 7. So this actually equals that actually is equal to 787,446. If you know these two answers over here, just put it in the comments, okay? And now check it with the calculator, okay? Bye guys. See you in the next video.